No. You're muted.
That's not supposed to be like that. As soon as that intro goes away, it
Yeah.
should have unmuted itself.
Mm.
Morning, Rod.
That's right.
Good morning,
Rodney.
Dominic.
Rodney.
Everybody else.
Second time. Travel Tech 360. Good morning, Robbie. Mela, good morning. Jackrabbit FPV, good morning. Drone Psyche, good morning. Hey, Scott or Charlie, the link is in the Cool Kids chat if you want to join. Brr, it's cold in here for a change.
Oh, okay.
Turn the AC off.
Yeah, I think I'm going to. Scott. Well, okay.
Almost, Scott.
Well, there he is. He popped in there just as
There we go.
Hey.
Hey, I got bad internet, so I may not be here very long.
Oh, okay. Charlie says he can't join at the moment. He's on the throne.
Sorry about the mute.
Got
mute.
Got it.
Yeah, we don't need to know.
He misspelled throne, but I got it.
Yeah, we got the idea.
Hey, he's the king.
Yep.
So anyway, how's everybody doing today?
Yep. A lot happier. The days are getting longer.
Oh, I bet you are.
Mm.
I bet you are.
Yeah, that's true. What was it
Our
yesterday?
days are gonna get shorter.
Yeah, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yesterday was the longest day.
Mm-hmm.
Longest for you, shortest for me.
Man, it felt like it too.
It did.
When I lived up in Fargo, oh yeah, you knew it was a long day because being that far north, you get the
Peter.
whole 5J thing
Peter.
Good evening, Peter.
is a bigger swing. Being in Florida, the difference between summer and winter, at least light wise, is not quite so radically different.
Robbie, I am in Colonial Beach, Virginia.
Hey, good morning to everyone in chat.
Yep.
So, Rod, what you got planned for today?
Not sure yet. I've been playing around in the simulator because the weather's been crappy here. So I finally learned how to do a Rubik's Cube. Fast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
So it is 4 half moves. So it's a flip forward. So it's a flip forward or backward, half flip forward backwards, half roll right left, half flip forward backwards, half roll right left. But it's it's 4 halves. Yeah, it's 4 halves in a row.
Wow.
This is kind of what it is. There's a friend of Ken and I. There's a friend of Ken and I's, Jeff, who's up in St. Augustine, and I do not know how the hell he does it quite so fast. And I've been practicing in the sim. I've gotten faster at it, but he's like lightning fast. And I mean, that joke just goes. And
so that's in the sim though. You hadn't done it. You hadn't done it.
I haven't done it live, but I figured out what I was doing wrong, or what I was trying to do wrong. So actually, I don't know if this controller will.
Jody, good morning.
Will show or not. So this stick. So you're doing it on this stick. And when I was trying it before, I'd go all the way up and back, and then try to go all the way over and back, and then down and back, and then over. Try to use all 4 points, right, in doing the move. What actually turns out to be faster is flick down, flick one way, flick back down, and then flick the other way. But instead of trying to hit all 4 points, you just use 2 points. And usually it's the ones whichever way your finger, and obviously down is faster with your thumb than up is, right? Because normally up you have to stretch your finger out, so there's more time in doing that. So it's easier to just backflip kind of thing.
So Robbie wants to know what, of course, for you Australians, this doesn't necessarily affect you guys, but for me and Rod and Scott, what do we think about the ban?
It could have been avoided. And I don't mean from a politician perspective. I mean from a DJI perspective. DJI could have completely, utterly avoided this problem by doing something rather simplistic, because it's what Microsoft did in Germany. So in Germany passed tighter privacy rules than the GDPR in Europe.
Good morning, Dave.
And in order for us to support the Azure cloud in Germany, what we did was we literally built a data center over in Germany and then handed it over. We don't own it, and literally handed it over to the Germans to run, so that we could go, it ain't ours, so that no foreign government could ever demand data out of that data center. DJI could have done the same thing. Simply, the entire problem is not the drone itself; it's the software. That's always been the security risk. Is the software.
Alex,
they could have simply handed the source code and the delivery of that to a U.S. company. They could have completely handed it over, said, "Hey, they're going to do it here and in the U.S." It's going to go to those guys, and it's going to get their updates from those guys. And DJI still could have been feeding the software to them, but at least a U.S. company would be responsible for the distribution and put eyeballs on the source code, so that the politicians can't go, oh, they put something funny in it. Well, it's a U.S. company that's going to get to look at it before those updates get pushed. The entire problem, and I spent the last 5 years of my military career in the CERT team, was about that software.
Yeah.
And I have a real idea, multiple things that they were worried about. Forget what the
people to tell that to, Rod. The people that tell that to are in China. They're not in this chat.
Yeah, I know. But they could have made it so much easier on themselves. And now they're doing this outsourcing thing, effectively doing almost the same thing.
Here, I'll tell you what my feelings are. They're just going to have to come arrest me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not taking current drones out.
They're not.
I cannot imagine them not grandfathering in drones already, owned in this country, because they would have millions of people rise up.
Mm-hmm.
Rodney, do you want vertical stripes or horizontal stripes?
I'd rather have diagonal.
Look, I'm a country boy, so what do you think I think?
I want zebra stripes. I want them to go every which way.
And the other part of this, and I've been trying to get this through everybody's heads, and we all love our drones, but there is more going on than just this drone thing between us and China. And if you want to understand what's going on, go look at the fact that the U.S. Air Force is rehabbing bases in the Marshall Islands. And particularly, they've already started with Tinian. Both sides are ramping up. You want to see what's going on right now? Go back to 1937, and look at the trade things that went on between the U.S. and Japan. And then look at what's going on today, and you'll begin to understand what's happening.
Good morning, AZ Drone Dude. How you doing, David?
Well, this may not be the right attitude, but my attitude is I'm only worrying about today. I'm not going to worry about tomorrow, because who knows what tomorrow is going to bring.
That's right. That's right. And
I don't know that it's constitutional, but I don't think there's any precedence for the United States taking anything away from any person.
The courts would frown on that big.
I don't think that would fly. I don't know that it's constitutional. know.
Look at the Fourth Amendment about search and seizure, right?
Yeah.
That would basically be a violation of the seizure part of the Fourth Amendment.
Yeah,
that would have to change. That's the point. And they're not going to do that for a $1,000 drone.
All right.
No.
It's not going to happen.
No.
Little Llama Laura, good morning. SJM Drones and Media, good morning, Steve. Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
It is. You're going to get your DJI drones, but it just won't say DJI on it because they've done the whole outsourced licensing thing. So,
do you think our Constitution's been under attack as much as it has been lately? It seems
massively.
Oh, gee, come on, Scott. Of course it has.
Well, I mean, again, we are focused on today's history, and if you study some of old history, you find out, wow, it was pretty close back then too. Of course, we should have been moved way past that now, so it saddens me to see what goes on today. It's on both sides, all sides. It doesn't matter to me which side it is. Our problem, my belief is our problem is we've lost truth. There is no truth anymore. You can't find truth. So you can't base opinion, or you cannot make a decision off of false information. And it seems to be everywhere now.
Oh yeah, I agree, Scott. It's getting so bad. I've even quit watching the news. I don't even watch the news anymore.
I don't
either. News in years.
It's propaganda. It's not news.
Yeah, exactly. It has been for a long time.
Absolutely.
The American media is every bit as bad as what went on in World War II with the propaganda. In fact, I'd say it's worse. Much worse.
It's worse. Well, for one thing, a lot of people rely on it. They depend on it. They trust it. That's a mistake.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, we were kind of taught that way. Look, I remember going through school, and it's like, look, you need to read the newspaper. You need to watch the news so you know what's going on. And I believe that, but I've been in it long enough to realize, I started realizing a long time ago, wow, they're actually pulling us by the nose and leading us how they want us to be led, not necessarily what the truth is. For example, you want them to get everybody upset about going to the beach, just start talking about sharks. And then when you go study about it, you find out, well, there's no more shark attacks than there ever was. But they decided to put the spotlight on it. So,
and what most Americans.
You were asking about Warren? There he is.
Yeah, Warren, there was some concern about you today.
Yeah.
Yes, there was.
Yeah, we'll see him at the South Florida Drone Meetup next year. Right?
Yeah.
He's going to be there, right?
Warren,
yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah.
Warren,
Danny says, drink the Kool-Aid.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, in the Western world, most people are unaware that they're being screwed with by the Russians and the Chinese. They're all trying to stir up trouble to cause political issues in other countries because they're trying to destabilize them. But to be fair, we're doing the same shit going the other direction. So kind of to Jackrabbit's point, it's kind of like, why can't humans just learn to get along and quit this crap?
All right, Chris.
Hot dog, Chris.
So
no, and I certainly didn't intend to get into any political discussion, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. And what had happened was, Jim Schroning, good morning.
Jim.
Robbie asked a question about what the panel thought about the ban, and we just basically said, we're against it.
It's going to happen. DJI's already outsourced it. You'll still be able to get drones anyways. Don't worry about it. Now, to help you out, Rodney. Hey, Scotty, have you got your domain yet?
I'm getting much, much closer. I just paid off everything, and I might be making money again. So
I'll tell you one. I'll tell you another one to look at that I seriously thought about getting one as a complement to my 3.6, which is the Axis Flying has a 3.6 that supposedly does 0 to 60 in like 0.3 seconds or something like that.
Well, that doesn't. I'm not worried about going super fast. I'm super responsive, yes, but not I'm not gonna
that one's responsive. I've thought about buying the 4.2 version of the Domain. That's how much I love my 3.6.
Well, I got a new drone.
Oh, what'd you get?
It's a Quad Mula F5 Mini.
Oh, the Quad Mula.
Yeah, it's a Quad Mula frame, but it's a mini frame.
Hmm.
Much like the big one I had, which I broke.
Actually, Rodney, there's one that I think, God, I really want it, and I think you would probably want it too, because it's similar to our Baby Hawks, and that is Newbie Drone has that Stinger Bee, which is a 3-inch instead of a 3.5.
Oh yeah.
That thing looks wicked and responsive and it looks like a lot of fun. I'll just put it that. In fact, I was out on Newbie's site, but it's still on pre-order right now. And all the reviews came out like a couple of months ago, but for whatever reason, it's still on pre-order. But that Newbie Drone Stinger Bee little 3-inch open prop, ooh, that thing looks nice.
Morning, Captain Joe and Joe Fodolito. Good morning.
Joe.
So my new problem is going to be, well, do you go get the what are they calling? What are they saying is fixing to come out in August? The Mavic 4. I don't know which one are they talking about.
Air
4?
3S, right? Air 4,
4.
Air 3S, whatever they're going to call it.
Depends what they call it.
The other advantage is the Stinger Bee, it's sub 250. So of the sub 250 drones, to me, this looks like it will be as much fun as the Baby Hawk. Just a little smaller. Yay, you can hit smaller gaps.
Bad subject again, but even if they did ban drones, again, I'm in the countryside. I don't have to deal with much, but guess what? Moody Air Force Base is not that far away, and they fly over all the time. And I'd be very curious that if I decided to fly, and I know they got like aero, what do they call it? Something aeroscope, where they can see where drones are flown. And I'm like, I just don't think they would, if you're in New York City, yeah, I can see it where there's threats that are higher that, you could possibly doing mischievous things, malicious things. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't think I'm gonna worry about it until it happens, and then deal with it then.
Yeah,
I'll say this: I've been
it
waiting.
hasn't even passed the Senate yet, has it?
Right, and that's why I think we're worrying about stuff. There's no sense in even worrying about it right now. My gosh, you're acting like Congress works well. It doesn't. But in fairness, what they did is they couldn't pass it on its own. So what do? Stick it in another bill.
Yeah,
and they're going to end up passing that way because they never read those things anyway. They just pass them. If they're told
in the Senate, it's not tied.
Way.
Yeah, in the Senate, it's not tied, so there's still a chance that it could get thrown out.
Right. The Senate is supposed to be the sanity of the group.
Yeah, the one thing I've been seriously worried about for 2+ years is, and there is something that they could come down and it would be hard for the public to go, no, that's stupid. And that is, I've been waiting for them to go, there are no drones over 250 because of the Russian-Ukraine war and the fact that drones are being used as terrorist weapons. The Congress could easily come in and go, you know what? There are no consumer drones over 250. You can be enterprise, but it'll work a lot like dynamite, where you have to be an enterprise and get a license in order to get it, kind of thing, and go, that kind of a thing. But I could see them doing that to the consumer drone side for security reasons. And it would be hard to argue with, given what you see on the TV every day from Russia and Ukraine. Hope to God none of the politicians ever figure that out.
Oh, they already have.
Well, you probably just told them.
No, I'm sure. Obviously, everybody in the security world is
the
worried.
Rodney Bell YouTube channel.
Yeah, everybody in the security world is obviously worried about crap like that, so they know. But I go back to they screwed up remote ID, because the one thing that they could have done with remote ID, and I've said this before, that would have helped with actual real security is if they had put a device on there that was sort of an anti-drone device that the drone would respond to, that, you know, they could essentially turn it on, do a broadcast, and that broadcast would force the drone to like turn around, like an invisible fence kind of thing, and made that part of remote ID to help keep drones out of areas. And it would have been easier to protect things like stadiums if you had something like that, because you just put the antennas on the top and all the drones would turn around and go away. They missed a big opportunity in doing something like that with the remote ID versus just the stupid license.
Could you hack a system like that?
Of course, you can hack anything.
I'll be back, guys.
I'm only thinking not for the novice guy, but the more professional guy. But, you know, the professional guy can do almost anything he needs to do, probably. I mean,
Yeah,
if you have a will
exactly.
to do it, you'll work as hard as you need to do it. So, and you're not ever going to stop that.
I know what they were worried about with the DJI, with the software and the other data. I know exactly what they were worried about. I worked under what is now currently CISA, which is its own department at the government level. But it's CISA, NSA. It all stems from, I can tell you what it goes back to and where the policy comes from. It's the O2 Orange Book, which is what DOD has used for their computer policy since the 90s, and has been the Bible of DOD computer security.
Well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my drones from either Peter or Dominic there, or Jim's droning.
And, you know, that's another interesting conversation, is how much of a black market will it create by doing that? This has happened worldwide, right? Every time countries do crap like this, there's always a black market that develops. So
yeah, I think we're worrying about a lot of stuff that we worry too much about everything anyway. We know too much too.
Yeah, well, right now we need to be more worried about a crazy idiot sitting on a button with nukes behind it.
Yeah, it's
because his talk is getting worse and worse and worse. At what point is he going to pull the trigger?
The day that we didn't have mass or mass networking, also, I put it that way. You know, our world was pretty small. It's gotten, or was pretty large. It's gotten pretty small now, and we wouldn't know what was happening around the other side of the world. You know, it's news traveled so slow. We might be better to go back to those days, because we tend to worry about a lot of things now. You look at the young people; they're anxious about everything all the time. And the reason why is they got a camera in their face all the time. If I had a camera going around with me while I was young like that, y'all might not think the same about me today.
Yeah,
so,
Robbie's point is a good point. The one thing that really, really freaking hurts us is these idiots that do dumbass things. And lately there's been, 2 people tagged for voyeurism and other crap with their drones lately that hit the news, and it's crap like that blows up, that makes us look bad.
Excuse me, Rod. Hey, Lance, you have a good trip, brother. He's off to Hawaii, I think.
Yes,
Ooh, have fun.
Oh yeah, have
enjoy
fun.
Lance.
Have a safe trip.
I've only been to Hawaii once, and that was in 2008. A long time ago.
Lord, yeah, the DJI geofence will annoy the hell out of you out there, because it's everywhere.
I've only been to Hawaii once. That's what I meant to say. I live in Atlanta.
I've been out there a couple of times.
I've been out there a couple of times, and I really have no urge to go back. I just wasn't that impressed with it. I mean, it's beautiful. The islands are beautiful, but just it's another tourist trap.
Oh yeah, there's the locals stores and prices, and then there's the tourist stores and prices. If you're a tourist, you'll pay $10 for a gallon of milk. If you're a local, you'll pay $6, whatever it may be. I have a friend who lives out there, and God help you if Lowe's or Home Depot doesn't have something you need, because it's probably going to be 6 months before they can get it in. He needed some paint to paint this, I don't know, outdoor garden fish pond kind of thing. It literally took him 6 months for Lowe's to get, or Home Depot to get it in on the island.
Must have been some kind of marine paint, huh?
I tell you that the supply chain in the United States is not as good as it was. Look, you want a electrical panel box right now. Sometimes they're not easy to get anymore. It's a lot of things that you think. Toilets. I heard toilets were hard to get. Doors and windows. Now it comes and goes.
Rodney, this is too political for me. I'm going to go make juice. I'll see you guys later.
Okay.
All right, Dennis. Have a good one.
All right, I'm gonna shut my mouth.
Well, the thing is first off, and I understand why Dennis is leaving. First off, I normally don't allow politics spoken on my live streams. That's just it causes too many problems. And secondly, well, there is no secondly. But anyway.
The interesting part about this one is, Rodney, to kind of be fair, is all of us in this community are all on the same side of this argument of God, this is just bad.
That's true. We're all on the same side, Like I said, and this is the last I'll say about it. If they do ban it and they don't grandfather in what's already owned, they'll just have to come and arrest me, because I'm not going to stop flying it. Just because, they're worried about China getting intel. They better look at their own employees for that.
It's true.
There are a lot of government employees that are not what they claim to be, and they need to look at that. So I'm
actually, Rodney,
what I'm going to say about it is it's just like firearms. If they're gonna have to come and take them out of my cold dead hands before they'll get my firearms.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about the drones. I think the banning them is stupid, and if they grandfather it in, fine. I also agree with Scott. Right now, we're worrying about something that hasn't even passed yet. When the Senate passes it, if they pass it, then we should worry about it. But like I said, I'm not. I'm just going to keep doing what I do. So anyway, and that's the end of it for me.
So I have an interesting military story for you, Rodney, around that comment. Before I got out, we were deploying units to go overseas, and a first sergeant got up and was talking to his unit and sort of giving them some advice and blah, 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 blah. And he told a really interesting story. He's like, because he was talking about OPSEC with his unit, keep your mouth shut, all that kind of stuff. And he was like, I worked in the Pentagon, and there was a young soldier that every evening when he left, there was this blonde girl that was out in the parking lot, and she was talking to him. And he said eventually he had to pull that soldier aside and go, you do know that's a Russian spy, right? This girl, literally had the girl sitting out in the parking lot, just tried to do what you were kind of talking about, find the right people that would cave and give info. It was an interesting story.
Yeah, that goes on all the time.
It does. Remember when Sony? Remember when Sony got hacked?
No.
And all the Hollywood stuff, everybody went crazy because of who was getting paid what and all that kind of stuff. That that hack happened because the North Koreans left a bunch of little USB thumb drives in the parking lot in South Korea at the Sony stuff, and those people.
Well, you know what?
Social engineering is an interesting subject.
You know what the latest is right now the car dealerships have been hacked, and they're having to go back to paperwork, doing it by paper.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. That article just came out this week. So I still stay semi in touch with that part of the world.
Yeah. Well.
Anyways, Rodney, Stinger Bee, look it up.
Stinger Bee.
If you're thinking about a drone, Stinger Bee, because it's sub 250 and it's a quick little thing. But it's by Newbie Drone and it's a 3-inch.
Okay. Who's it by?
Newbie Drone. They also make one called Savage Bee. It's an even smaller little micro thing. Got a neck on it for the camera. You'd break the camera if you wreck the silly thing. It's basically meant for indoor flight. It's like
okay, so I see a Newbie Drone, Acro Bee,
Stinger Bee,
Savage Bee.
Savage Bee is that little micro
bee. Or no, just hummingbird. I'm not.
Oh, hang on. Let me look it up and I'll put it in chat for you.
Yeah, found it. That does look interesting.
It's interesting. It's a very interesting drone. Watch some of the reviews of it. I like Rimsler. He's over in Eastern Europe someplace. I like his style, the way he sort of tests and reviews his drones. You get to see somebody do like real FPV, like Captain Drone.
Yeah, I'll have to look at some of these videos about it.
Yeah, but finally,
you about Rimsler?
Yeah, Rimsler. Yeah, Rimsler.
Okay, I got one of his videos right here.
Yeah. There's one for the Stinger Bee. He's got a bunch of others too. I love watching him because he's doing real acro in his reviews and the way he does them all, and so it makes it interesting to watch.
Hey, Mela, you have a good day, and still praying for your dad.
Bye, Mela.
He's not out over a field or a lake like Captain Drone is. This dude is doing loops and flips and rolls between trees and everything else at his house where he flies. So you get you get to see a really good feel of how nimble and responsive the drone is, the way he does it. So
yeah, well, I got something to show you guys. So,
new toy?
No, not so much.
Oh, but we like toys. Come on, Rodney.
I know you do.
Boys and their toys.
Well, it's a toy. It's just not necessarily a new toy.
Oh, old toys. You know, sometimes it's good to play with old toys. Reminisce.
Where'd it go? What? There it is. All right. So this is my Avata 2. Let's go full screen. So it's got an ND32 filter on it. That's why it looks so dark.
I guess the filter fell off.
The filter fell off, and I couldn't control it. It started flying backwards, and there was no changing directions, and that's where it ended up at.
So you completely lost control.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was just
The new RC or the old RC? RC2 or RC3?
RC3.
So the
Yes, and when
new-
it hit the ground, it messed up the gyro.
Apparently,
something messed something up.
let me put that back up. I didn't mean for that to go away. Where'd it go? Oh, come on.
Good thing your flyaway hit the tree.
Yeah, I couldn't do anything. You notice I'm tilting it down. Look at that.
You're not
The
sharing.
angle I had that
Yeah,
tilted
share.
down, and it still wasn't going
You're not
forward.
sharing.
Huh?
Share.
Share.
Oh, hang on. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to start this again.
Wait,
Hang on.
And I guess the good news is, did it break anything? Hopefully not.
No, but I'm sending it in. I sent it in anyway,
Sure.
and I had filed a flyaway claim, a flyaway thing for it, but then me and my buddy David Meadows got it out of the tree,
Oh, gotcha. I was like, why'd you do that? It was like,
and they recommended that I send it in anyway, and I get a replacement on Monday, so it's all good.
Did you use your care refresh? You should send it in as warranty, because then they don't charge your care refresh. Yeah, so it smacked the ground and then started going backwards. Huh.
Wow. That's FPV right there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's what happened to me. That was on Tuesday.
Huh.
So, well, I don't know that I could have proved that to be warranty.
No, I would have sent it in under warranty, and they would have looked at it and either gave you the warranty or not. And if they didn't, then you could have used your care refresh. But that's how I got my one Avata replaced. Was when I ended up with the ESC air.
No.
I thought it was the motor that burned out, and it didn't turn out to be the motor. It was the ESC that actually burned up. But they replaced that one under warranty. Because I sent it in that way because I didn't want to use my carrier refresh. I was like, why the hell did the motor burn out? Simply because something got stuck in the prop and broke the prop. Hello, it's a brushless motor.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, done is done, and
yeah, all good.
And it just reinforces, I mean, I've been on the fence about flying the Avata in manual mode anyway. And true, me hitting the ground was my fault. I was too low to do what I was trying to do with it. And you can't treat it like you can a 5-inch. Now, if I'd been flying one of my 5 inches, that probably wouldn't have happened.
I don't know. Madge Tech has been saying all along that Avata 2 in manual mode is a bit dangerous. He's not really cared for it.
But last couple of weeks ago, I changed the RC3 back to regular, normal DJI mode.
Yeah.
And I flew the Avata that way, and that's fine. But I have to admit, I did miss being able to do flips and rolls. Now,
come on. Use the motion controller. Put it in normal mode and use easy
like
acro.
I was getting ready to say, Rod, I could fly with the motion controller and do the easy acro, but that's really not much fun either.
Look at Captain Joe's comment. See Captain Joe's comment? Yeah.
That's what my Avata 2 would do if I bumped anything before my crash. It would take off crazy. Happened twice, but was able to gain control.
Damned.
I probably could have shut the motors off before it got to the tree, but I just didn't think. I was trying to gain control. I even had switched it to manual and nothing happened. It kept going.
Well, you know what they say, never disarm.
Well,
always try to fly out of it.
And unfortunately, that's exactly what I was trying to do.
Yeah, I know. That's so to me, you're following suit.
But anyway, I did get it out of the tree, so it was all good.
I like John's comment there too, unlimited vertical.
Not as a flyer. He's not necessarily the best of pilots. He could get around, but as a technical guy, that engineer kind of guy, he is super duper smart. I would trust what he says.
Yeah. He's a good source.
Well, it's like Rick at Drone Valley, right? He's an engineer. So he looks at things from an engineering perspective, and you get
technical mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Black and white.
Those dudes know what they're talking about.
Philip Cochette says, never surrender, never disarm.
2 weeks ago.
On a side note, Philip Cochette's got a show on now at Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time.
Yay.
So y'all aren't doing anything with that. Might want to go over. I think he did show number 2 this past Monday, and this will be show number 3 Monday.
What time is his show?
6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay. So he's on about the same time as Lloyd Mendenhall, right?
No, Lloyd comes on after that.
Before.
Does he come on after that?
Yes.
Yeah, Lloyd's at 8.
Before.
Yeah. Well, I don't usually watch many of the nighttime live shows, mainly because that's my family time. But
I don't do it because it's my sleep time.
well, I usually go to bed around 9.
Yeah, I'm 8:30, 9 o'clock. That's usually when I'm heading to bed too. So.
I have an interesting disarm story for you, Rodney.
Oh, so he's saying July 1st.
A what?
An interesting disarm story. So like 2 weeks ago, buzzing around my house, hit one of the palm fronds, and I'm like, okay, the drone's going down. And generally, anytime I think the drone's going down, I just hit disarm. So I disarm. The drone gets still, and I'm looking at it in the camera, and I'm like, wait a second, shouldn't that thing be over there in my flower garden on that side of the house? Anyways, I walked around to that side of the house. I was like, where the hell is the drone? Actually, no, I heard the beeper as I was walking over there, and I'm like, holy shit. And I looked up. It was sitting on my roof. It spun. It's the palm frond spun it, and it ended up over on top of the house instead of in the ground.
Oh, wow.
I should have stayed. As Scotty said, I shouldn't have disarmed. I should have stayed in it, tried to fly it out. It probably would have kept flying, but I disarmed and it ended up on the roof. The worst part was it was 90 degrees. It's like run to go get the ladder before the thing overheats.
Yeah. I was always of the type that would disarm too, and then I started trying to teach myself to fly out of it. I mean, it's pretty hard because when something does that, it kind of jars your mind, but you got to keep that mind straight the whole time and just kind of react to what happened and overcome it. So it's pretty cool.
Occasionally,
so John says he always disarms. Yeah, it's a habit. It was for me too.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to break parts.
Well, okay, so break parts. A lot of times it might save you from breaking apart too, though, because you didn't hit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another thing happened to me. Not South Florida drone meetup last year, but the year before. I was having trouble with one of my drones. I think what happens a lot of times, everybody laughs at me because I seem to burn up drones all the time. A couple of times what's happened is I think just the vibrations in the vehicle and stuff like that have worked stuff loose, plus me flying hard and crashing and things like that. But South Florida drone meetup one time, I hooked up and it went up in smoke. and look, it wasn't a bad build. It was something got loose or something like that. And when I put the But another time when I was there, I went to fly and I was with Al Duran, and the thing took off on me, and I did disarm then, and crashed it right there in the parking lot real quick. So because I knew as soon as it happened, I knew what was going on, so I killed it. But my problem was, I think in that case was my strap would come over and strap down the battery, but there was not enough room between the flight controller and the strap was pushing down on the
it was pushed
gyro.
down on the stack. Yeah.
Yep, and that was I think that's what was causing it to fly away. I'll be honest, I hadn't fixed that drone yet. How long has that been? Over a year. So
my baby hawk, for quite some time, every once in a blue moon, it would just lose control. I'd be in a turn and it would just start tumbling. And it kind of turned out, and Ken's friend Jeff ended up fixing it for me. It was the power connector. It was the XT30 power connector where the thing went on, and he ended up sort of fixing that up a little bit, and the problem never came back. So it was literally like a grounding problem between those wires in there somewhere, and that it would, every once in a blue moon, it would ground that the power, and obviously the flight controller kind of freaked out once the power gap happened. And maybe that's what is happening to Rodney Zavada when it hit like that, right? Maybe there was a power interruption to the board, and then the board went, a spike or a drop, right? It could have dropped to zero for a split second, and the controller freaked out. I'd believe that.
Yeah,
especially since it takes hitting, right? And you look at Joe said the same thing. It was when he hit something. So maybe there's something with the connection with that battery or a wire or something in there that if you hit hard enough that, I don't know. My guess would be more battery sort of flexing a little bit, right? So that the connector for the battery isn't like fully connected. And as soon as you get that power spike, surge, brownout, whatever, then the controller just goes, and that would make a lot of sense, actually.
Well, I'm not sure what a power spike would do, but I guess it could cause the gyro to go crazy or something.
Yeah. It definitely could, and it's not like it's a spike as it got too much power. I'm kind of thinking when you hit the ground, the battery it's clipped in, but there may be enough flex in there that the battery came disconnected for just a split second, and that's what freaked out the controller.
Yeah, maybe so. I've seen power do a lot of crazy stuff to electronics.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I did. Now, once we got it out of the tree, I did bring it home. I cleaned it up. I put on the new props, and because the original props were chewed up pretty bad, and I put on the new props, and I took them out here to the backyard and flew it around a little bit, and it seemed to fly okay. But when I got hold of DJI to cancel the flyaway, I told him, I said, I flew it because they were saying, well, you should send it in anyway. And and what they said was kind of, made sense. I should still have it checked out. So,
by the way, if you want to get more props, when you send it in like that to DJI, take the props off before you send it in, because they'll send it back with props. Well, you'll have more. So you'll have more spare props. I've literally done that.
I sent it in with the bad props.
Okay, that works. Yeah, send it to the bad props. That works. Same thing.
So yeah, I wasn't going to send it in with the good props on it.
Yeah, when I did it, it was because I was running those master air screw props on the Avata, right? So I didn't want to send it in with those props on there. So I just took the props off and sent it in. And by golly, they sent it back with a brand new set of standard props on it. I was like, wow, Cool. I'll have to remember that next time.
No, I didn't send it in with the battery either.
No, you should never send it with the battery.
So
and
I had to send.
What surprised me was that battery drained all the way down, or at least it kind of indicated that. I know that lipos or these intelligent batteries don't always drain all the way down, but I was able to recharge it. So
with the care refresh, they'll send you the battery too.
Will they?
If you tell them, hey, I think the battery's damaged, they'll send you a new battery as part of the care refresh. I've had them do that.
Yeah, well,
because my battery was toast, but they did replace it for me under the care refresh.
Yeah, I probably should have told them that, but anyway, it is what it is. Whatever they send, I'll be happy with.
So Peter, you going to meet Dennis when he goes over there? He says you don't want to meet him.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Like you don't want to meet him.
No. I don't want to meet him now. He's only going to Sydney and then on to Brisbane. So I'm in neither of those cities, so I won't be seeing him.
Yeah.
Too far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, Melbourne to up there. That's a long ways.
Yeah. It's a couple of hours flight from Melbourne up to Brisbane.
Yeah.
So
4.5.
A couple of hours. I was just looking. If I went to, if I go to Minefield, that's an 8-hour drive. I thought about going through Hammond to get there. That makes it a 10-hour drive. But we'll be doing. I'm hoping I'll be doing that maybe in August. So.
Are you say you're going to Minefield? Maybe.
Look, it's play it by ear. You know, I've got to do this and see what the wife says. You know. So I'd rather stay married than go have fun. So
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
If you look above me, I still don't have sheetrock up there. But I think next weekend we're going to be hanging sheetrock. That's we went through our last inspections and look,
I was going to say you've got more work to do there.
Yeah.
Are you and your wife going to be doing the work, or are you going to have somebody doing it?
Oh no, we've do. The only thing we haven't done is HVA electrical there and HVAC. We have hired that out. So,
okay.
But that spray foam right there, she did that.
She did that.
No, and I take that back because if I go out in the metal building portion, we had that subbed out. But the office part where I'm sitting here, she did that, and she did it for her she shed too. Good morning, Bob Casey.
Hey, Bob.
Casey, good morning.
Bob.
Morning, Bob.
I'm gonna tell you, most people will not believe what she does, but I'm telling you, she does it all. She does do it. So.
Cool.
Actually, here's a story for you. So my uncle always worked on cars.
Lucky.
You want to guess who taught him to work on the cars?
You?
Why?
His mom, not his dad.
Oh, his mom.
My grandmother was the one that taught him how to work on cars. She was the mechanic. She used to work on the tractors and stuff out on the farm. She was the one that literally taught him to be a mechanic when he was a kid. Not my grandfather.
Well, and that was her as well. Her dad was a shade tree mechanic, and she was out there helping them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of people in our generation grew up around shade tree mechanics. I mean, I had two good friends in school that both were excellent mechanics, and they were only like 16, 17 years old at the time. And they were excellent mechanics because their dad taught them.
Yeah.
Well,
they've made it hard to be a shade tree mechanic now. Now you got to go buy all the electronics and stuff like that to do it. So,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and the parts are unbelievable. The cost of them is just stupid.
the
They've made vehicles
I
so
know.
complicated today that it's hard to be a shade tree mechanic.
Exactly.
Mm.
They don't want you messing with it.
I just put
The other part is
$5,000 in a new transmission.
Wow.
Wow.
the population has changed too. You know, it used to be more than 50% of the people in the United States lived outside the city. That is no longer true. There's more in the city than in the country.
True.
Yeah.
So the dynamics of things have changed. So Rodney,
Yeah.
despite the crash, how much do you like that Avata 2?
It's all right. It's certainly not a carbon fiber FPV drone, and I enjoy flying it, but it doesn't thrill me like a regular FPV drone does.
You had the Avata
Hey,
1 too, right?
No,
Rodney,
I never bought the Avata 1.
Rodney, on another side note, I'm pretty sure old Fly Zone FPV they're having a meetup. Man, I can't remember what the date was, but it's right now.
Well, let's ask Michael. Michael, when's your guys' meetup up there?
It's like next week or the following week. I mean, it's really, I can't remember exactly when it is, but they're meeting in Chicago.
Yeah.
He has a pretty good event. I should know, doggone it. And Philip said earlier, life is too much to have a show every Monday. And he's right. Life has been pretty difficult here lately. So I've been trying to keep up with everything, but it's hard too. So, there we go. July 19th, 20th, and 21st.
Okay.
I think he puts on a good event too. So I would like to make it one time. Won't be this year for sure.
Maybe I'll be able to make it next year.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good that we have all these events so that different parts of the area can get together.
It's just hard to get to can't obviously some of us can't go to all of them. But
yeah, today I was watching a replay of a round of the World Rally Championships over in Italy, just held about a month ago, and usually they used to do all their overhead shots by helicopter, and I just noticed today they're using FPV drones there for a lot of their aerial shots. Getting really close behind the cars, and
you can tell those guys.
Yeah, the cars are doing sort of 100 miles an hour, and quite often, and they're staying right with the cars around corners, and you've got some really good pilots. Yeah, very impressive.
Yeah.
I like trance music, and so I watch a lot of the concerts that they post out on YouTube. And for about the last year, you will notice if you're watching the videos that almost all of them have an FPV drone flying around over the audience and filming the show. They've started using them big time for concerts.
oh yeah, drones have certainly become
Mainstream.
mainstream. For like movies and stuff.
And sporting
There was a
events.
movie. I saw a documentary on the movie Red with The Rock and what's his name? He played Green Lantern.
Oh God, yeah. I remember the movie. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, he played in Proposal too.
I'm horrid with names. I remember faces, but horrid with names.
The Proposal, yeah, it's
Ryan Reynolds.
right. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
So it has The Rock
yeah.
and Ryan Reynolds in it. And at the beginning of the movie, they have Rock getting up out of a car, and an FPV drone goes flying by him and does the yaw spin on him. It's pretty cool. And they actually showed how that was done. And that drone was about 2 feet from his face when it went by him.
I bet Stevie Bronx would be good at that.
Probably
Because he chases those cars up there at the track. So
yeah. You know who else would probably be good at that is
Max.
Max. Yeah,
Max.
420.
Yeah, Max. Yeah, because he does a lot of that too. So
he does it too. So
why is it up New York that they seem to do that a lot?
yeah. Hey, Captain Joe, you have a good day, brother. Oh, so Michael says they have a new frame coming out.
Oh, okay.
Cool. I'll keep an eye open for it.
Hey, Michael, can I vote for a 2.5-inch frame that supports an 03 air unit? And I'm not being facetious on that, actually, Rodney. My Gep RC Senilog 20, I've come to hate that thing because the prop guards and the design of the prop guards on that thing is just garbage. So Ken placed it here. He took one of his micro drones. Obviously, it wasn't an 03 air unit. Anyways, he took all the parts off of that and put it on a little 2.5-inch frame, open prop thing.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that thing is freaking wicked. So it gave me the idea of going, hey, I should take the parts off my Senilog and try to find a 2.5-inch kind of frame, which is what his is, to put all those parts on. So
Cool.
that's why I'm asking. So if anybody sees a 2.5-inch frame that'll hold an 03 air unit, let me know. I'd be interested.
Michael says, yes, Rod, we're actually getting that ready too.
Yeah, but is it going to be 03? Or is it going to be HD0 walks now?
That's good. It's Toto tested, so
Good to hear.
I have to put one on order.
So what do you mean by Toto tested?
That's his last name. So
That's right.
He's been out there flying.
I forgot that was their last name. Him and Sergio.
You're right. Yeah. Yes, all the cameras. That's a good deal too. Because I guess I'm getting drug into the 03 units. I hadn't bought one yet.
I tell you what, those 03 units look pretty darn good.
Yeah, so this reminds me of the day that when your computers kept coming out, never go work on somebody else's computer that was better than yours, because then you'd have to go buy one. I actually did fly Ken Hoffbauer's, but he had me flying it at dusk, and I couldn't see anything. He said, well, go up above the trees. There's light up there you can see. Well, I got up there, and then I could see up there, but I couldn't see down below. And I had to figure out how to get the thing back down. And I literally pretty much spun in and did a crash. I just kind of knew where I was and took a guess and just started spinning it straight down. And lucky enough, it landed right in front of us. So then he hard timed me about crashing his drone.
This ain't working out right. All right, let me unshare here. Why is it?
Start playing the video and then share that screen of the whatever screen the video's in.
Well, yeah, that's what I was trying to do. It didn't work. I'll try it again.
I do it. Yeah, I do it on my show, but you got to get the window started first.
It worked earlier, but this time it didn't work.
Yeah, that's live too.
Saying. I have a crappy computer anyway, so that's why I'll probably never go work on somebody's computer that's better than mine.
That's right.
Let's try this again. There it is. All right, so let's span that out. Now this is It's this guy here that I'm showing you. And I'm really impressed with the 03 unit. That is so nice. It's so clear.
Yeah, it is. The one place that it has an issue that bothers me is if you go from, in particular, from light to dark. It seems to take it a second or two before it sort of adjusts. You're kind of feel like you're a little blind for about 2 seconds until it seems to adjust, and then it's like, oh, I can see again.
That was my problem, really. I mean, literally, it was light above the trees, but it was dark below it, and even below it wasn't good enough for me to see well enough. It was, some of those, even when it's dusk, it's lighter in the goggles than it is at the air unit. At least is that way. But
I'm going to let
this with this, and
I'm going to let this play because there's one part I want you guys to see, and it didn't even actually scare me until after I watched this video.
Isn't that always interesting when you go back and watch something and you realize, holy crap, I didn't realize I was that close or whatever. Come on, Rodney.
Yeah.
It was right in front of you. It was right there.
Yeah, well, hang on a minute.
Yeah, by to Bob Casey. It looks like he's heading out.
Once you start flying FPV, you see every gap everywhere.
Yeah, that's the truth. Oh, wait a minute. This is the wrong video. Okay, so I did fly through that gap of the church sign, and this. Let me find it. That wasn't it. It was down here somewhere. So I think this may be it.
And what always gets you in trouble is when you're flying at something and you're gonna go, you think you're gonna go, and then you change your mind at the last second. And inevitably, you're always gonna put it into on the wall, the bush, or the ground if you make that choice.
I always if I don't feel comfortable going into it, I'll bail out. But
you just got to remember to do it early, not late. Because if you do it late, you're going down. No, you didn't have it shared, Rodney.
Oh, I didn't. How did that happen? Okay. All right. I thought I had it shared.
You're teasing us, Rodney. You're teasing us this morning.
I am. I'm doing it on purpose. Okay. So watch when I fly through the sign this time.
I might see you fly under that sign there to the right. You're there.
So
did it ticket?
No, but I didn't realize how close I'd come to the top of the arch until after I saw the video.
Yeah.
And that's what I was wanting to show you.
Yeah,
so
that was close.
Watch.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah, I saw it too. Yeah, it was close.
And at the time it didn't bother me, but when I came home and uploaded the video and saw that, I'm like, oh my God, I almost clobbered that thing.
That's why I say you have to fly with no fear.
You almost found out how durable it was.
I usually do fly with no fear. Hence,
you
that's
did
why
then.
it scared me afterwards. I wasn't flying.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You did then. If you'd known that before, you probably would have hit it.
Probably. Recovery One Drones, Dre, good morning.
Hey Rodney, are the props on that? Not the props, the camera on that drone in a different spot than normal, are they? Because I noticed you can see the props sort of in the middle of the picture. Then you got those couple of dark patches up at the top.
The dark area is here,
Right.
and I think what I need to do is go in and instead of making it ultra
Yeah,
wide,
you can cut
it
the field
wide.
of view down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just adjust the picture
and I
ratio.
think that's
Yeah.
what's causing it. I think I'm still going to see the props,
Yeah.
but I shouldn't see the frame, the tops of the frame there.
Fair enough. Yep.
That's an X frame, not a dead cat frame. Dead
Yeah,
cat, the arms are back a little bit, which keeps the props out. So that one's meant for a GoPro.
Just a general question for someone who knows nothing about FPV.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question.
You have
something I noticed there. So,
do you have your Baby Hawk there?
Yeah.
Because the Baby Hawk is dead cat, right? Well, I don't know if yours is. Mine is. I presume yours is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a little bit like dead cat. But see how the arms are back in the front.
yeah.
And until I changed the camera mounts, you could just see the tips
Okay.
in the camera. Hang on a minute. Hey, welcome back.
Thanks.
There is.
My juice made.
Very good.
Do what?
I got my juice made.
Oh,
what juice did we make today?
Peter asked what juice you made today.
Say that again.
I was just asking what juice you made today.
Oh, I made apple and carrot and strawberry and watermelon.
That's a good combination.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of extra. I bought a watermelon. It was huge. It was too big, so we used about a fourth of that for juice.
Sam's Club is interesting. They have a machine there that squeezes, and they literally fresh squeeze orange juice right in the store that you can buy.
Where is this?
Sam's Club.
Sam's Club.
So Dre, in answer to your question, yes and no. Today we're talking about FPV. But normally we talk about whatever. You should have been here earlier, though. We were having an interesting discussion on the DJI band that we're not going to get back into.
Good idea.
It is a killer. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I shows on and talking that junk. I don't want to listen to it. So,
yeah.
Jim Stroning, you have a good day, brother.
I have a status update for my Raspberry Pi RAID drive.
Oh, okay.
This is the case in which this is kind of the fan. I'm going to need to shorten that cable, but anyway, this is the case that it's going to go in. I'm waiting for the hat to come from China, but there's the Raspberry Pi and it's cooler.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and
now did I see some? What's that say there? Love
NASP1. It's just my Raspberry Pi NAS.
Love NAS P1.
Yeah.
Love NAS 1. Cool.
That's the way that's kind of my trademark for my name, LUE.
Okay.
But I put this little fan on there for cooling. I have it oriented so that it'll blow in rather than out, because I think that's where I think down here is where the cooling is going to need to really happen. So, and the guy that designed this case wasn't me, although I did modify it, because he wanted brass inserts and I wanted nuts instead. But he did an amazing job of alignment. Just beautiful. Everything fits.
Yeah.
So perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm still waiting for the hat. I expected it before today, but there's still no notice from UPS USPS that it's been turned over to them. So I'm still waiting for it.
Stephen Drones, good morning. Welcome to the chat.
Yeah, speaking of heat, that's one of the things I've learned. Obviously, this is the first summer since I started flying FPV.
Right.
With the GPSs on it, I used to have my drone set so that it had to pick up the GPS, before I took off with the FPV drone. In the summer, you don't want to set your FPV drone that way because it takes way too long the drone to overheat before it gets the satellite.
Oh.
They heat up that bloody fast.
That threat is real too, because I remember flying one of my Vistas, and I ended up actually that trail that where I flew through, from the cottage to the barn. Mm-hmm. I crashed halfway through that thing, and by the time I got to it, I burned up the Vista.
Yeah. So you have found a way you don't even need a campfire anymore to burn up your drones.
Look, I've burned up drones many, many ways. I don't know how many. And look, when you burn up a Vista, well, that's not true. A lot of times when they start flaming, they get everything else too. So. But the frame's good. Nothing else is.
So the motors are good. So thanks to Ken, because he's the one that put me onto this, and I forget who put him onto it. I bought one of these off Amazon, and it's a little portable fan. So I could literally take this thing and sit it right by where the drone is launching to sort of keep air on it before I get it off the ground, kind of thing. Yeah. Or when you're updating, Beta Flight or something like that, and you have to plug it in, you can keep a fan on it to keep it from overheating.
Those wires hanging down, what is that, USB or something?
So, you know what this is?
Oh, it's a lanyard.
It's a lanyard. So this is a little fan thing that's supposed to go around your neck. It's a personal cooler, but it works great for the FPV drones.
Interesting.
Or if you're flying, then you can just put it around your neck and keep yourself cool while you're flying.
Yeah. That's the only way I'm going to be cool when I'm flying FPV.
Dre, you have a good day.
So it's a useful little phone or little fan. But the heat is real. I remember that one day when I was down with Maddie and them down in South Florida, my Nazgul, one day I took off at about 163 degrees. It starts complaining at about 157, I think it is on my screen. Anyways,
talking Fahrenheit, right?
Yeah, and I took off, and I'm like, okay, well, it should cool off in the air. It didn't cool off in the air. I was doing about 30 miles an hour, and it was getting hotter because it was about 97 down there in Fort Lauderdale that day. So I kicked the drone up to about 55 mile an hour, and it finally kind of cooled the air unit off at that. But I was just like, okay, this is something new for me to learn to deal with FPV drones and summertime heat.
Do you have it in your goggles so you can watch the temperature? How did you know that?
Yeah, it pops up in the goggles. The warning.
The Mini 3 and the Mini 4, which are not FPV drones, they are subject to heat if you let them sit there and spin, or not even spin. Yeah.
So that is the one thing with the DJI O3 air unit. And you won't hurt it. It's got overheat protection. It will shut itself down before it damages itself, but that thing gets hot. So
they do get hot too. When you touch them, they'll burn you.
Oh yeah, I noticed with the two drones I was flying yesterday that they were a little bit hotter than usual, but it was in like 90, almost like 98 degrees yesterday here.
Yeah, we're looking for a high of 97 on Tuesday.
So that was my lesson early summer, was FPV drones and heat and being really fast about when you plug the battery and get it off the ground, and when you land it, make sure you're in a hurry to go over there and pick it up and get it unplugged, or overheat sitting there.
So the high today is supposed to be like 95.
I don't know about her.
And actually, that was my worry when my drone ended up on the roof. I was sitting there thinking, "Oh crap! I got to get the ladder really fast because the battery's still plugged in, and that thing's sitting up on the roof at 90 degrees. It's gonna overheat."
You couldn't have tried to fly off of it?
I probably should have. But as you said in earlier on with your video, right? When weird things like that happen, your brain sort of gets sidetracked.
It doesn't function quite right.
Yeah. Well, here's the other part, Rodney. I left the controller in my garage because where it was on the other side of the house. I didn't realize it was on the roof until I walked over there.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the controller in my hand. If I did, I probably would have flown it off. So
that's true. You said you didn't realize it was.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was up on the roof. I thought the view looked kind of weird. I was like, where the hell did that thing? It was like so. But ever since
Excuse me, guys. I'm gonna head out.
Bye, Dominic. All right, Dominic.
Good night, all.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
See you, Don.
So Rodney, you remember what happened to me in South Florida, right?
Right.
So that's why the controller wasn't with me.
Gotcha.
When I walked around the house, the controller was sitting over there in a nice safe spot.
Now here again, if you had a pre-arm switch enabled up one of those push buttons,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have had to worry about that. I have yet to have a drone start on me by hitting that switch.
But I'm now using Ken's method. I've trained myself and I do it naturally
Put the
now.
throttle up.
As soon as I land, I throw the throttle up.
Gotcha.
And
Well,
I
you
don't
don't mean Ken Heron, because Ken Heron's method is to get somebody
place it here. Place it here lives about 30 minutes north of me. So, but anyway, so I'm using that method now of throwing the throttle up. So,
Okay. All right.
But that's why the controller wasn't in my hand when I walked around the house too.
It's frustrating when you go to try to take off and you're like, why won't this thing arm? And then
If
you
you
realize,
forget.
I left the stick up.
Yeah.
Well, my controller will tell me
Yeah, mine does too.
throttle warning.
Yeah, mine does that too.
So
Anyway,
I
guys,
didn't fly it off.
I'm gonna go ahead and call this thing, and so everybody can get on with their days, and Peter can get some shut eye.
Well, thanks.
But she'll
Sorry.
probably stay up add a couple of hours extra watching Judge Judy.
That's right. No, I already watched all those today. I finished watching those.
I love Judge Judy. She is
You can watch
so
reruns,
fun to watch.
So
There's another 5 on tomorrow morning I can record and watch. So
okay, cool.
so all is good. I'll go off and watch some motorbikes now.
Oh,
I used to be able to set the clock by what was on TV. You don't have to do that anymore.
Isn't it
When
footy
you start
season
the
down
show,
there?
did you say hi, Peter?
I'm sorry.
When Judge Judy starts her show, does she say hi, Peter? She should know.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Isn't it footy season down there?
Apparently, yeah. I don't watch it, but it is. Yeah, our local football's on now. It finishes in September, I think, end of September.
If you've never watched Australian rules football, go find something and watch it. It is fascinating to watch. Love it.
Last time I went to watch the game, but that was in 1984, and that was only because someone else paid for it, and paid for one of those press box or one of those boxes in the stands at the grounds where you got all free food and drink, and that was the only reason I went.
Yeah, it's non-stop action. It's basically American football with no pads and no huddles. Go, 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 go.
What was that? Rugby?
Yeah, it's a form of it.
It's called Australian rules. It's
okay.
Unique sort of sport. Yeah.
They
Yeah,
pass.
rugby is a lot closer to your football than ours is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what's yours called?
Australian rules.
Australian rules, because I'm going to look that up.
Yeah.
Fun to watch. Both times I've been to Australia, it's been in the winter when it was footy season, and oh my god, the action is just, it's great.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, guys.
All right.
Well, you all have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
And then, Peter, you have a good evening and
I
good
will.
night.
Yeah, thank you.
So, anyway, everybody
Go
in the
fly.
chat. What?
I said, go fly. Everybody
Yeah,
go fly
go
if you
fly.
can.
I'm
fly.
hoping to go fly today. Of course, my wife said if you go fly in this heat, you're crazy. Well, I have a truck that has air conditioning, so I'm not so crazy.
You see John sitting there rebel rousing.
Who?
He says, "Go Oilers." We don't have any Canadians on here today. It's all Florida.
Oh yeah, Edmonton won last night, so now it's
I know it's the
3-3.
game 7.
Game 7 now.
So is it Panthers in Edmonton?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Because I know Alex Escardo, he's a big Panthers fan.
Yeah, no, I told him, I said, hockey. We got hockey down here.
The Panthers were up 3-0, so it's interesting that it made
Nice.
it back to 3-3. So
No, it's even right now. This is the last game. So
Yeah. All right, guys. Well,
Okay.
this time we're ending. So,
Bye, everyone.
See
all right,
ya.
everybody.
See you
Have a
later.
good night.
Bye-bye.
Everybody in the chat, don't forget tomorrow morning the Sunday Sunrise Crew, starting with Charlie and Place It Here. Good morning.
there's place it here. Did you say place it here?
Yeah, he just popped in. Anyway, as I was saying, Charlie
Right.
starts us off tomorrow in New York, coming to me here in Virginia, then down to Georgia with Dennis Lovelady, and then over to Texas with Chris Hope, and then Johnny Drone Flyer with Drones and Coffee. So be sure to tune in for that. Have a great weekend, everybody. And as Rod said, go fly. If it's too hot to go fly anyway. Anyway, later, guys. Love y'all. Bye now.
go fly from your car like Rodney.